Hi, I'm Jale. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a reading for Aries, all aspects, and the cross watcher from the 15th up to and including the 28th of February 2021. If you're an Aries or aspects and or a cross watcher, this reading could be for you. Don't forget this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest. If you feel like this doesn't resonate, check other aspects of your chart. Could well be that they resonate with you more. Let's begin. Let's see the theme. Aries, please. 15th to the 28th of February 2021. What's the theme? They're showing me the 16th. So it could be the second early. This is the earliest part. Something here we're going to need to look into, but let's see. What's the theme for Aries? Wow. Don't know which way to go with this one. So we've got the Chariot here. There's a hold up, a deliberate hold up, lots of confusion. There's a someone is doing their level best to try and block movement in this situation. Let's jump to the tarot. Let's jump to the tarot here, see what's going on for Aries, all aspects. 15th to the 28th of 15th to 28th of February 2021, Aries. Show me the 16th again. We've got someone totally oblivious and disconnecting from something. And I think it's an acknowledgement of a breakup here. It's an acknowledgement of a breakup that someone doesn't want to acknowledge. Someone doesn't want to see a breakup happening. They're saying the 16th. There's going to be something really significant on the 16th. Because that's the third time I've heard the 16th. Blocking the breakup, blocking the connection. There's a block. Blocking a divine counterpart from being single. Totally blocking that. Trying to create confusion, trying to create doubt. I'm hearing a bit of chaos. So again, they're showing me the 16th again. So I'm hearing trump card. Someone's pulling a trump card out to stop this situation in its tracks, which is going to cause the masculine to have to go within and understand what exactly is going on, because whatever it is valid enough to get this person's attention. It's designed to totally draw the masculine's attention away from what they should be looking at, to make them create doubt and confusion to leaving the situation they're in. That's the issue. To make them reinvest. So there's definitely something here that's going to be creating some kind of illusion. It's to make them reinvest in this long-term thing here with this karmic, so that they're going to be bringing things up that the divine masculine will be. It's almost like nostalgic things. Sense of nostalgia. That's what the karmic's relying on to draw this energy back in, so that they doubt leaving. If I'm honest, there's definitely going to be that kind of nostalgic energy here. Could be an item, a holiday, photos, something that is going to trigger this kind of more nostalgic energy, and for someone to doubt that, basically. We've got a lot of movement here. We've got a lot of movement here around you, or the divine counterpart, and the masculine, that wants to happen. And that's, again, it's a polarization. It's like, it's a disconnect. It's like everyone's feelings are being evaluated in this situation, and because the masculine's having to disconnect from a karmic, it's almost like it's like there's a disassociation going on. Excuse me, I'm not tired. For some reason I'm channeling drained energy, but let's see. Show me what else is going on here. Yeah. Someone is avoiding emotionally disconnecting for that reason, and making someone question what if. There's so much illusion here. I'm wondering how that works. It's manipulation. It's direct manipulation. To make them hold on to the situation that they should be releasing. I'm trying to get a tune in on why and how. Because the other person's not letting go. There's a lot of this energy suits this disconnect emotionally. It's done deliberately. It's a manipulative move, and it's done. It's like the karmic standing back, knowing that that is going to draw the masculine back in. It's like a detached energy that is drawing the masculine back to them to make them reinvest, but they're doing it in a really subtle way. Again, to make them reinvest. So it's like before, if this person was chasing. If this person was chasing the masculine would be like, no. So what they're doing is this karmic's holding back to try and let the masculine feel like it's a comfort zone for them. Because at the moment, the masculine doesn't want to move. But it's like they're being drawn into a false sense of security here, because they're going to at some point twist that. That's how I'm reading it. That energy will not stay the same. So it's like they're pulling back to, again, it feels like the masculine's going to become off guard from that energy. Then we're going to see some moves here. Yeah, look, Page of Wand with the wheel. So again, it's like the karmic knows that the masculine doesn't want to tip the boat or rock the boat here. So they're standing back, and then they're allowing space before they go back in and test the water. And at that point, because there's been a space, it's an old dynamic that's slowly dying out, which the pattern is slowly, getting slower. That it's not as it's like a boxing match where the opponent takes a break and they rest on the other opponent. It's honestly like that, because they're both fed up, but they both don't want to give up on this. This is the karmics here. So there's a gap, a break before they reevaluate what is going on. And actually both of them don't want to end this, which is why, and certainly not at this time. So that's why they're allowing this space for each other. They're allowing this gap because it's easier to deal with when there's no huge arguments. And I feel like they're both biding their time here. It's like the calm before the storm is how I want to say it. The calm before the storm. Building their strength to tackle, both sides tackling each other is how I want to say it. But they're both building strength. One of them wants to heal, the other one wants to block the healing. One of them wants to leave, the other one wants to block it. They're in this opposing energy. So again, this is the calm before the storm here. One wants to go somewhere else, the other one feels guilty about. So one wants to leave, but they feel guilty about leaving, which is why they're kind of taking their time. And the karmic knows that, which is why they're allowing the time. There's someone else in the picture. That's what this person wants to leave to go to. They want to go towards their divine feminine, but they don't want to do it with guilt, which is why this is taking a bit of a pause until a kind of grand gesture or something is carried out, really. So let's see what else we can get. Pull a few more cards and then, yeah, so there's a decision that's being made. Right, let's now pull. Let's see what else is going on here. Right, let's see. Spirit, what can you tell us, please, about Aries reading? Aries. Delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others, and fertility. So there's this sense of pause before someone actually goes after what they want, is how I want to say that. But there's the pause to reflect, the pause to understand is what I'm being shown. Let's pull some, let's pull some more cards. Okay, Spirit, what can you tell me, please, for Aries reading? Perception and quest. So there's definitely some sense of perception that is missing here. Let's dig into that. Could be that they're not quite understanding things, but let's see. What is Aries reading trying to tell us here? Okay, so this is how I'm feeling, right? This previous situation would have been based on the karmic saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. But they haven't, they've stopped doing that. They've stopped the criticism. So what's happening now is it's confusing the masculine to think, well, it's stopped. Does that mean it's going to always stop? Is there something that what else? The reality in the patterns of behaviour is shifting to the point where it's now creating confusion with the masculine because they're not used to that shift, which is then making them second guess everything else, which is now why we need to wait for this to settle, because at some point this is going to start back up again, right? And so this is what we're waiting on. But until that happens, this is why it's the calm before the storm. Until it happens, it's like the masculine's not, of course the masculine's not going to leave while it's calm. It doesn't make sense. But I think the karmic knows that they're pushing the masculine too much and that they're going to leave. So the karmic's backed off. That's why I'm reading this. So they know they can't keep pushing this masculine because it's going to backfire and the masculine's going to leave. So they're biding their time. They're biding their time. Let's take a look. What else can you tell me, please? What else is going on? What else is going on here? We've got purpose in the reverse and grief. So again, it's that questioning of why and what's going on, and that confusion, and also mourning at the same time, knowing that the relationship's over, but also being confused if it is or not because of the lack of clarity, the lack of, I mean, there's no balance in the situation. There's no balance. There's also again this kind of questioning the self-esteem because of there's a lot of wounds in this energy as well. And that's also creating doubt, which is also causing instability as well. What are we doing? Okay, what else can you tell us here for Aries? We've got negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. So It's like someone's trying to come across as and judge the holier than thou type of energy, and it's like someone's judging themselves. They feel this guilt about what they're going to sort of chase or go into, and so they're disconnecting because they think it's what they should be doing, but it's not right. Yeah, let me just see what else I can pull for this. What else can you tell me about Aries energy here? Helps you recognise and confront addictive behaviours. So there's addictive energy here going on. Either addictive behavioural patterns, addictive energy, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life, or sensuality. So there could be an addiction to someone's negative energy, because again it repels them into not doing anything, maybe. You know, the addictive behaviour of not addressing the addictive behaviour, let's say. But there's definitely, this pattern suits people in this like kind of dynamic at the moment. So what else can we look at here before we look at the outcome? What else can you tell us about what's going to be happening here for Aries? Yeah, it's like this transition period, this transition point of breaking through a barrier here, and understand, again, it's a shadow element. It's like all the things that someone hasn't embraced, all the things that someone feels they shouldn't do, those are the parts that this person has to acknowledge. And if they aren't, it means that they're still stuck in old patterns of behaviour, which means they're still going to follow old patterns, which means they're going to still be around old karmic situations until this person embraces themselves and also their shadow element. It's going to be a block, because it's like they're blocking themselves, so of course their external will be blocked too. But there's something about this, it's like they can't quite embrace themselves, which is why they're not able to embrace their new life, if that makes any sense. Let's see what else we can figure out for the outcome here. What is the outcome? Spirit for Aries reading, what is the outcome, please? From the 15th. Someone actually might leave. It looks like someone's going to go. It's like they're going to take the plunge. But I think this next couple of weeks, which is possibly why Mercury in retrograde comes in, is them processing this shadow element. They're processing leaving. They're processing why they were there. They're essentially closing a chapter mentally. And again, the Chariot, if you look at the Chariot card, it's about the two equal balances, drawing a horse and cart forward. Things have to be balanced before they can move forward. And if there's no balance, then there's a pause, right? So it looks like someone's coming into balance, which is allowing them to move forward. So let's see what that balance is. What is the balance? It's like they're making peace with their old life versus their new. What is the balance that's going to be brought in? It's their urges. It's the physical. It's almost like they're going to close. Again, it's they're choosing a spiritual rather than a physical, but it's them being used to defaulting into that spiritual. It's them being used to defaulting into a physical connection, and then that's how you give yourself over, right? Physically, you don't give yourself spiritually. You hold back that part of you. But into the new connection, someone's going to have to open that part of themselves up, and they're not ready to do that because they have wounds, which is why the karmic situation still suits them, because they don't have to fully invest in that, because there's no commitment. There's nothing really intimate going on, because you're not really sharing any part of yourself. So that's why they blocked it. But they're having to come to terms with that, which is why there was a block up until possibly the end of the month. And then a few of them, not all of them, will be deciding to go ahead and almost take a leap of faith anyway. Possibly against all odds, or possibly against what people would expect, but there is definitely a decision being made here, and it's based on a more evolved choice as opposed to an old pattern, if that makes any sense. Right, what is the outcome? We've got bluff and enthusiasm, so let's have a look. What is the bluff? There's a dualistic energy to this as well. Seduction and devotion. So it's like, what is actually really drawing someone in? Is it drawing them in through the physical or the spiritual? And I feel like before, this person could have been drawn in the physical, but actually they're evolving out of that, where they're now being drawn in by the spiritual. And so these old ways, this karmic, because they've integrated their shadow element and the wounds that were blocking them from having a real connection, they're now also not, they don't need to accept someone else's blocks as well. So for example, if it was a more karmic physical only connection, then that doesn't suit them or give them anything anymore, because they've healed those own wounds in them, which is why it doesn't appeal to them anymore. And so they've integrated parts of themselves, which is why now they're able to kind of balance and move forward. But this time is what is going to be really important for them to do that. And then there's going to be a few of them that have integrated that enough for them to come out of this pattern and away from this karmic situation, and actually to where they want to go, which is towards their divine counterpart, which is great. So let's just get a final card here. What is the outcome? What is the outcome for Aries? What is the outcome for Aries, please? We've got restore and replenish. So there's basically an energy that's being recalibrated. And again, there's a rebirth here. Bottom of the deck, defend to the end, the worthwhile. So again, it's them recalibrating what is actually important to them and what isn't, and purging what is no longer accessible or viable, and embracing what is. Okay guys, this was your reading for Aries. Hopefully that's been of some help. Thank you for your likes, your shares and your subscriptions. Until next time, take care. Bye.